Thank you, Pastor Fontenot, and it still doesn't look like pancakes. At this time, we will hear from Pastor Jimmy Bention from the Metrolina Christian Center Church of God in Christ in Monroe, North Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Before I start, I just want to thank these for the sake of what we're talking about today. These white brothers that have joined us today to stand with us in this cause. Just want to say thank you. You didn't have to do it, but you did. Ladies and gentlemen, a few years before our Declaration was written, our Constitution was formed, a bunch of guys tired of no representation in the halls of the British government, dressed up like Indians, boarded some ships, bust up some crates, and threw them in the sea of the Boston Harbor. Called that the Boston Tea Party. They did that because they felt it was wrong for government to take all of their earnings, and then they didn't have a say in the very country that they lived. We all know a few years later, a revolution was fought, where many died to simply gain freedom. That freedom in this country that we call America, coming the United States of America, has allowed people from all over the world, far and near, to obtain freedom. The greatest release, the greatest thing that freedom gave us when they formed this country was against the very government that was writing the laws. They wanted a country where the people decided what was right. They wanted a country where one man and one vote, though we didn't get it right, they didn't get it right totally in the beginning, but over time, and that 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment came along, we began to get this thing right. Began to get it right. And later on in our history, there were some in the annals of the Deep South that felt like the black man had too much power. He was voting now and causing various ones to get into public office. President Barack Obama is not the first black man to hold office. That's right. People in the Deep South was holding office way soon as the Civil War was over. Right. And folk got upset about that thing. That's right. And that's where my brother earlier mentioned the Wilmington riots of 1898, that's right, of which some are trying to change that history. That's right. But we know what really happened there. Right. Right. And so now we fast forward to today. Yeah, talk about it. Today we have a sitting president, a sitting attorney general, yes, that has come before this great nation. Yes, this nation that is a beacon of light to everyone around the world, to literally say it is okay for a man to use a woman's restroom. And a woman to use a man's restroom. Is this where we've come from that great night on those ships in the Boston Harbor? To where we are saying that genitalia, organs, sometimes we soft shoe things so much and we don't call it by the name that it is. Penises and vaginas is what we're talking about today. Genitalia. If you don't understand what that means, then the very thing we've learned in science class all of these years don't make sense. They taught us in biology, and they taught us in earth science, and they taught us in chemistry, and they taught us in all of these subjects that we took about the anatomy and our physiological being. And for some to believe that it's something that's irrelevant. Well, it's not irrelevant. It's not irrelevant because when those young children see themselves, the children know that little Janie part ain't the same as little Billy part. And they ask questions. They say, if they happen to see little Billy's part, they say, what's that? And if they happen to see little Janie's part, they say, what's that? And there has to be explained that little Janie has a vagina and little Billy has a penis. When we can't understand that basic narrative, all of the other things my brothers have said are true. But I've just been thinking about the basics. My daughter's a science teacher. And she has to explain to children in high school biology and earth science. Now, Bishop Wooden, must she now declare to her class that there's no difference between Shakira and Shaquem? But there is a difference. And these preachers that's standing behind me know the difference. And these folks that have gathered here today know the difference. And I submit to you, I believe even people that they want to go another way know the difference. But they want to have it their way. The Constitution is not Burger King. You don't get to have it your way. The liberties that we pursue are liberties that we all should enjoy. And 98% of the people should not have to bow down or curtail to something that less than 1% of the nation declares is a right of theirs. My brothers and sisters and people that hear our voices today, know that we stand not against anything except wrong. HB 2 is right. It's right all day. It's the president who is wrong. It's the attorney general who is wrong. It's every state legislatures across this feuded plain that put in rules to say that there's no difference. They are wrong. Let us stand in right. And so when the sun fades on our lives, it will be said that on this day in May, preachers, black and white, from around the great Tar Heel state, gathered at the state capitol steps to say, HB 2 is right, and it is not a civil rights issue for sexual identity.